Hi, I'm Sher Ireland from a Beautiful Marriage Relationship Education Center in Tigard, Oregon. One of the biggest reasons that people call me is because they're having conflict in their marriages. And conflict is really inevitable when it comes to marriage, but most people feel that their marriage is falling apart and they're very distressed about the conflict and the fighting that they do. So I want to talk a little bit about how to stop fighting and to start loving. One of the things that's most important is to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that couples, when they start to fight, when they go into a fight and it begins to escalate, they're only able to reverse that conversation about 4% of the time. So it's really a rarity that people are able, once they start having the conflict, to really turn it around. So what we need to do is a timeout, just like you put your kids in timeout. I always talk about it like boxers in a ring. You need to go to your separate corners for a little while and cool down. Have that trainer sponge you down. Not really, but the point is that you need to do some self-soothing to let your heart rate go under 100 beats a minute, where we go into fight-flight mode if we're at that heart rate, and be able to calm down. And couples can actually practice this so that they can, in their timeout, do some self-talk, do some deep breathing, and actually learn to bring their heart rates down so that they can re-engage. Then we need to make a repair. And I always tell people that it's the bigger person who goes and makes a good repair attempt. And a repair can be anything from, come on, let's not fight, to let's not wreck our day today. Or it could be, I wasn't really able to listen to you before, but I've calmed down now. Anything to re-engage with your partner so that you can perhaps begin the conversation again on a better place. And then during that conversation, we need to do couples dialogue. And there are many different techniques in how to do safe dialogue so that the problem doesn't escalate again, so that you can do it safely and finally get to some problem solving. And we teach those at A Beautiful Marriage. We also have to be accepting of each other's viewpoints. It's really kind of a ridiculous idea that we would come together as married people and have exactly the same viewpoint on everything. So conflict is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be nasty, and it doesn't have to escalate into violence or into bad feelings. And I think that when you understand that we come from different family backgrounds, we've had different experiences, we have a male and a female brain, and we all have filter systems that prevent us from necessarily hearing our partners in exactly the way that they meant it, it's a wonder that any of us communicate at all. So I think accepting that someone else in the relationship is going to have a different viewpoint is a really good plan. We call it radical acceptance. We also have to be committed to a type of thinking that I call equal valuing. And that's where both people in the couple really value each other's ideas, their opinions, their thoughts, their preferences, and that we don't try to make the other person exactly like us. That we accept that this person's going to have different ideas on different things, and that I'm interested in that. That I want to have a win-win with you. I want to get to a place where both of us at least have a piece of what we want. The other thing I think is an attitude, and we certainly go into marriage this way, but sometimes in the heat of battle we often forget that we really do want our partners to be happy, and that we really do want to give to this person that we love. And so marriage by its very nature to me is a little bit sacrificial, in that I'm not always going to get my way. Maybe I'm going to have my rough edges rubbed off a little bit so that I can be a little bit more giving and a little less selfish. When couples calm down after they've had conflict, using these tools that I'm referring to, how to do a good, safe couples dialogue, where you're really doing empathetic listening to another person, is really critical, so that you can gain an understanding of what your partner is really saying and what they're really wanting and what's underneath that. They may have a whole lot of hopes and wishes and dreams that may come to the surface if they can have a safe conversation. So, we are for stopping fighting and starting loving, and at a Beautiful Marriage Education Center, we really want people to learn how to love intelligently.